say she's in the class 18, stuck in her daydream. Been that way since 18, lately wasting. 2020 vision. Cupid hit me with precision. I wonder if you look both ways when you cross my mind. Yeah. I said I'm sick of chasing. You're the one that's always running through my daydream. I can only see your face when I close my eyes. So, can I get a kiss? And can you make it last forever? I said I'm about to go to war. And I don't know if I'ma see you again. I'm not Class A, but I am officially a Class B chess athlete. Which is why I bought these cheap reading glasses from Walgreens. Pulled out a calculator. You got to play the game in life. I don't love that. I wish opportunities came based off merit, but CEOs still get paid more than chess grandmasters. So I'm kind of fucked there. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. Imagine there's no countries. Well, we opened the border. Maybe John Lennon got in the mind of old Joe Biden. John Lennon's coming down from heaven. Actually, sounds like John Lennon was pretty atheist. So maybe God made an exception. I don't know. The Jesus I was raised to believe in was kind, always forgiving, always loving his children, unless they had a question. Then they just burn in a fire. So I stopped going to church. And still don't. But maybe John Lennon somehow creeped into heaven. He threw Satan out. So left room for one degenerate. And John Lennon's singing in Joe Biden's ear, "Hey, Joe, I know you're sharp, man, but act a little stupid and let me call the shots, all right? All right? Hey, open the border. Imagine there's no countries." And Joe Biden sure did open that border, didn't he? But these are my thumbnail trials. I'm going to be a Class B athlete. Well, I am a Class B athlete by rating. 1600, 1800 is Class B, which USCF defines as a consistently good club player. And that would put me in America around 91 percentile, I would say. But as I write in my post, I am seriously trying to win every game. Well, you should be in that video about excuses why people lose chess battles. Yeah, kind of. I mean, I never tried to lose, but I did play things I wasn't comfortable with. If I saw an opponent play some gambit against me, I might try it from their perspective and play it in my next round. I wasn't playing what I was most comfortable with. If I had any reason at all, after I saw a few people, relinquish their casting rights, I tried to understand why. And then if I saw any similar reason, I would relinquish my casting rights, start making exceptions to the rules. And usually I wasn't right because I was a beginner. But I lost a lot of those games. Still, as I wrote in my post also, I told myself, you're going to have to get your ass kicked. Your goal is not to be 1,500. When I was 1,300, I know I can be 1,800 at some point, whether that's now or in a few years. It'll be sooner. But that can come quickly. I've seen athletes, once they figure it out or start working with a grandmaster, get a little older, combines maturity with understanding of chess, they just shoot up a couple hundred rating points, 1,300, 1,500. So I wasn't worried. Now I can allow myself to try to win every game because I'm going to play what I'm comfortable with, and I've actually done some silly things enough to where I've become familiar with when you can make exceptions. But then after I took these photos, thinking they might be my thumbnails, that's just a scorecard. I decided I needed reading glasses. But I will still have my paper airplane, which I made. A beautiful paper airplane. I saved it for my thumbnail. Let's go back to my plan here real quick, because I want to not talk at all while I'm playing. I can't distract myself. Words. I'm 1611. Once they re-rate, the USCF rating estimator thought I would be 1614 with my victory. But I'm 1611, so once the re-rate is done, I will be between 1611 and 1614. I will be 1700 by New Year's. I have to be. I'm actually contemplating not playing the rest of this month. That'll be 1612, completely rested. Save all my dog's daycare days, exercise with Nova every day this month, go lift weights, just be completely focused. Show up rejuvenated in December. I also got 2 PTO days approved, so I can participate in the monthly weekend event, which I will play in the lower section. I've been consistently beating athletes 1500 and lower, like 2 consistently. I'm probably 6 of 7 for my last athletes or opponents when they're rated between 14 and 1500 or slightly higher. I'm not upsetting people. I mean, I did to get to 1611, but I'm not beating people 1700 or above, except for that last one. And I had a nice win before I took my break against the 1666 rated player. So I'm playing in the lower section. I don't like, I think they call it farming rating points. And at the lower levels, I mean, I could definitely lose to a 1200 still, especially if he or she is taking lessons with a grandmaster, just has to figure it out. Can't play a complete game consistently. So hopefully if I have a good performance in that, which I think it's the first week of December, that should put me at 1650 or so. And then I will just get back into the rated games after working with the grandmaster in residence this month. And then I should be 1700 by the end of the year. I will have from January till my 31st birthday, which is March 7th, to go from 17 to 1800. And like I said, I'm spending more time with the grandmaster in residence. It's amazing how silly smart people can be. I mean, most everyone with a membership to a chess club, especially an elite chess club like St. Louis, have to come from some money. And I didn't come from poverty at all. I'm not saying that. I just didn't know chess existed. No one invited me. No one's invited me still. I show up places. That's who I am. But they're going to show up to this beautiful chess club that was renovated. It's huge. It has to be noise canceling somehow because there are ambulances all over with WashU's medical campus right there. So they have all these investments, the best grandmasters. And then lower rated athletes go play 3 rounds. They walk by the grandmaster to go upstairs. They play 3 rounds. Some might come and check with them, but they only have a few minutes because they go back to back to back. And they walk out past the grandmaster. This is my competition? And I get it if you're 1700, 1800, definitely, 2000. You could get just a quick chat with a grandmaster if you're trying to improve. And at that level, they've probably listened to enough lectures by professional athletes where they kind of know how the conversation would flow. But for someone at my level or below, like to me, that 1300 to 1600 range, that's where you need to be just hounding the grandmaster. Because 1300, I think this is actually what USCF says, but don't quote me. This is my opinion, but I also think it is what USCF says. That's when you're not blundering pieces. 1300 is when you're not giving shit away for free. And if you're making any mistakes, it's probably not just material mistakes, and it was provoked a little bit. Below that, you can expect the pawn to just be given away. You can expect the mistake in the open. That's just easily observable. So my thought, if I were trying to build a prodigy, which I'm 30 now, I'm not too old to really get serious and do this study, but I was talking to my granny, I was almost in tears. If COVID would have happened when I was 20, of course I wouldn't have had the tech training and the speaking courses, the confidence to do this. I would have been like most people, an adult. Even 20 is too old to learn. I'm not a kid anymore. So it's good that I was 25 because I wouldn't have tried had I been, 20-year-old Dayton. But if I were 20 and I somehow did all this crazy shit, made the mistakes, got my TikTok banned, you know, rushed because I felt like my brain was running out of good years, all the dumb shit I did. And then I made those mistakes, but I'm 25 instead of 30 today. And I had from 25 to 30 with the foundation I have now. And of course, now I'll be going from 30 to 35. Man, I'd be a force. I'd be a force if I were 25 right now, and I'd have so much more optimism. But I would really like a 25-year-old who was basically me 5 years ago. You know, smart, but my scores in college were just good. Relatable life experience, systems, software. It's a bunch of glorified if and else statements. Systems are just talking to each other the same way a chessboard talks. I mean, it's a flow. I'm not being silly. You listen to elite players talk. Like, I'm probably going to go this week and just listen to the Grandmaster breakdown other games, because Grandmasters speak in chunks. They speak in patterns. They speak in flow. They don't speak in, there's a pawn, I need the pawn. It's, yeah, there's a pawn, but what's happening? Where are the pawns lead? It's different talk. So I'll just hang out with the Grandmasters the whole time. I forgot what I was saying. I get on these rants, man. But how can smart people, adults or kids, not do what I do? And maybe they're taking lessons with the Grandmaster privately. I don't know. But I'm going to play one good game, maybe two, and I will be with the Grandmaster. So I will pass them. I am passing them. And if I can reach 1,800 on my own while working, while raising my puppy, which I've not done a good job. Hey, Nova Bear, love you. You're a beautiful puppy. 1,800 on my own. No opening prep. Just what I've seen people play against me. I might have tried out, and I know the basic openings, but not a lot of variations very deep. If I'm 1,800, that's a good player. 1,800. I'll move back home. I'm from Southwest Missouri, Springfield, Missouri, for 3 to 6 months, hang out with my granny. I'll just turn 31. Springfield has a club. It's a senior center. I think right now I'd be the second highest rated in a lot of events. And the highest rated, I think he's a Missouri State kid, so he might be moving back to Texas. But good competition, good people, chess enthusiasts. I could play there to stay sharp, get completely rested and healthy, and I'll be 31 and a half years old. I'd like to move to Charlotte when I'm 31 and a half, and I got my dog trained a little bit better. She's more acclimated to big city life. I didn't do a good job. Just kind of threw her into the fire with me. If someone wants a project at 1,800, you teach me openings. You beat openings in my head, which is strictly memorization. Well, as much as one can memorize. There's some creative elements too, but just memorizing from someone who is a proven coach, I go to 1,900. Because I'm surviving literally off tactics. I'm behind in every opening, even often as white, and I'm winning games. I have been for a while now. So I'm 1,900. Then working with that coach, because we haven't touched anything but openings. Working with someone who's proven. It'd take me some time, because these are good, really, really good players now. Really good players, past 1,900. But I could get to 2,000. I don't know how long it would take. I haven't watched that many of their games. But I do know after 1,900, maybe even 1,800, I played some 1,800s. A master's going to beat them. I doubt a national master's lost to an 1,800 since he or she earned his or her title. But it's not easy. It's not like, oh, there it is. But they have to show why they earned their title. Because 1,800s and 1,900s, even against grandmasters, they're not going to make just blatant mistakes that anyone could spot. So it's hard to say at that level who's going to figure it out and who's not. I would err on the side of the crazy individual who sits in the fucking soundproof chest training phone booth all day. But let's say I could somehow get to 2,000 by age 33. And I met some 2000s. I think they could be a lot stronger. It's just they have life happening. They're getting engaged. They're working. And somewhere between 1800 and 2000, I would have to do this full time. Like, I could still improve while working and having my dog, and it would just take longer. And who knows? Who knows? That's what I want to do. AI is replacing a lot of people. When I think this was stupid or this was manic or what am I doing in St. Louis? I'm Uber driving and there were gunshots 2 blocks down. I love St. Louis, by the way. Great people. I would love to see every kid in St. Louis become a chess grandmaster or have the opportunity to try if they wanted. It makes me less tolerant of the stupidity, like the call it out movement. When you're talking to a young man who's about to graduate high school, working 2 jobs, no chance to go to college, parents aren't involved. And I try on Instagram, call it out. He didn't accept my draw fast enough. I'm driving this kid off at a house that's falling apart. And boy, do I feel like a piece of shit. One time I got my old SAP books, which is the software I was trained in and figured I'd spend my life in, because SAP, aside from Oracle, is really the only major ERP solution that big companies use. I'm thinking, yeah, put the fucking books away, Dayton. I told one kid about my YouTube stuff, and at that point I was kind of going through one of my phases where I wanted to quit. Hey man, I'd like to play chess. My school has some chess stuff, but I just, no one's ever taught me. I don't have time to do it. And I had time. I had time to apply for college scholarships. I had time my dad took me on walk-on visits, preferred walk-on visits, a few scholarship opportunities in AI football. This kid's got no chance. I'm not necessarily a great person. I have my flaws, but I've learned to be grateful through that. And it's made me just more turned off by the Vladimir Kramnik dumb fuck. I'm going to accuse everybody, And that's also why you can't let everybody come to America and just do what they want, because their cultures start to be ours. And Russia seems to have a lot of pull in chess. I'm assuming they have the most pull because FIDE and Russia has such chess history. But the innocent until proven guilty of the values of America. You just let everyone walk in and start accusing Americans. And now I think he's suspicious, but I have no evidence. And they think they can just do that. And we can't defend ourselves. But the Kramnik accusations, how Neiman was treated, the call it out stuff, unless you have evidence a man was physically being inappropriate with you, I have a clock. I can think as long as I want to for a draw. And especially when we're newer, do you know how that makes you look to beginners that you need to grow your game and hopefully help, people who don't have the natural talent of Carlsen or Neiman make a living? Do you know how that looks? When misogyny is real and you've got this quote over your face like you're some domestic abuse survivor and a man's hit you. You need to go talk to a domestic abuse survivor too. There's Harmony House in my hometown, and I've talked to a few domestic abuse victims Uber driving. You ain't them. And if you are them, then I do apologize. But it's not because a man at a chess tournament waited to take a draw. And when we're newer, I didn't know. I'm sitting here thinking, how many times did I wait 30 minutes before deciding, this isn't a draw or this is a win, or I evaluated the position incorrectly? When I was starting, especially, man, I was slow. But we're inclusive. We want to grow the game. But that guy, we're going to ruin his life. And if a girl he likes and is trying to marry sees that and realizes it's him, she's going to question her decision to marry that guy. And he might have just been scratching his head going, shoot, that's 2 pawns are connected. It's a bishop, but the bishop's trapped. Oh, chess is hard. I'm going to quit. And you're his last straw. Shut up. Oh, man, they're ugly people. But some of my motive is becoming, I want to get good at chess. And I'll never be, elite at chess. I expect the grandmasters will like me fine because they're a different level of athlete. Masters International Masters are too. But it'll be like some streamers or commentary people who are just good, maybe not even quite professional. They won't like comments like that, but I just think it'd be really funny for an outsider to get good at your game and you think you're some gatekeeper because your grandpa handed you a chess set at age 4. And me and my granny played checkers. I played baseball. That's fuck you. Snobby. There's no need for it. Anyway, Class B athlete officially. And we'll see how rested I feel after work this weekend. but I'd like to get to 2200 in Blitz and get complete control over my online addiction. I bounce around too much. Before we make jokes, the Narodisky situation is sad. I don't know exactly what happened. I'm not in that circle. Not sure I want to be. But that's why a lot of men do just shut up and hurt ourselves or destruct. Oh, he plays too many games. Yeah, well, I lost a friend to suicide. And when I look at my online graphs, sure, it's not healthy. I shouldn't have done this to myself. But I think, what if my friend had done that? What if a lot of people who struggle with an addiction would have done this, and it's just a graph on chess.com that's silly. It's a waste of time, but it's not an overdose. Too many people just want to judge. Okay, shut up and play. I hate that. But it can become fine. How can it become fine? Is that the answer to the puzzle? I don't have that puzzle yet. I'm way behind on clock. This is not good. You're playing really fast. I want your knight to move. I just want to know what it's going to do. Where do I want to go? Oh. Thanks. I'll be happy to trade queens. Interesting. I'm drawing my arrows. A lot of times I'm just thinking more what they might do than what they should do. Okay, so now you don't have any of that garbage. Seems fine for me. Okay. Oh my gosh. Let's lock in. Lock in. No. I'm waking up. Not actually waking up. I don't sleep much. But getting locked in. Getting in the zone here. because you can't go here. Right. That didn't seem good. Loser. Okay, you're gonna use the knight first, that's fine. Oh shit. No, it's okay. Problem is I'm not thinking. Battery. It'll be fine. No, you can't. It's a good move. Especially in speed chess. Gotta make a decision. Gotta make a decision. You have to give up your battery. The right move is to probably give up your battery. It's not gonna do you any good. You can bring your knight in. Okay. I want you to take it. It's going to force a piece to be traded. And if you don't take it, then I'm going to discover stuff. You lose. All right. That's fine. This is going to also sound pretty shady, but at least I clicked the game review button. Step in the right direction. Struggling with an addiction, a real addiction. Well, any addiction can be real. You can't go without a pill, a drink, whatever. Get the bottle up, put it down, turn it over. You did something better. You still lost, but the effort was there. And you're not completely beat if the effort was there. And I tried to review my game. Serious. Okay. I wouldn't be just giving stuff like that. Why would you do such a thing? What am I missing here? What am I missing? What am I missing? Nothing. So that's fine. Do the knight. I want the pawn. That's correct. You have no choice. Oh, it comes with check. Wake up. Wake up. Damn. It's a bad miss right there. Very bad miss. Almost like I just keep trying to break it. Battery. Okay. You don't want to do that. No. Here. I'll check my way and I'll undouble my pawns. Okay. So you can't take it, which means I hope to get that pawn. So I at least got some fighting chances here. That might be better. These pawns are really, really nasty. Focus. You! Ah. If you would have played it out, I would have accepted the rechallenge. But now I don't respect you as a human being. Keep what happens on the field. Keep what happens on the field. And then after the game, we can be friends. We can be friends. What happens at work happened at work. But then we're gonna drive home and we're gonna be cool again, right? All right, we're gonna be competitors here. Then we're gonna be friendly. We're family outside, right? No. I wish my brain worked that way. Be a happier existence. Your decision in chess just now took away your value as a chess player, first and foremost, but then as a human being and respectable member of society. So no re-challenge, enemy. Oh shit! Don't use it during smart water. Sounded like a tornado was attacking my roof. Noisy smart water. Okay. The opponent misplayed that, but definitely not even close to resignable. Speaking of which, I don't like. Well, I do like. Everyone likes a little bit of drama. Life would be no fun if there was zero drama. We shouldn't be mean to people that don't deserve or haven't done anything. Okay, what was supposed to happen there? Yeah, so I take, boom, boom, and then it's just even, right? What am I missing? Huh? What are you talking about? Queen takes on d2 is best. What do you mean? Then your own lines don't even tell me that. I don't understand. I don't like when robots try to think for me too much. Because you just have everything protected and you have the pawn center. Because I think sometimes chess.com is saying based on how you were playing or based on your level of play, this would have been an alternative. I was looking at pieces being exchanged, so here's a better way to exchange pieces. But that doesn't mean it's the best solution to the position. But don't think for me, robots. So if you think for me, how will I ever be as good as I can be? Yeah, so then everything reversed. Like the pawn center for white was really good. And now, yeah, it's only 2 pawns, but of course the position is much, much simpler. And those, I mean, you're just gonna get eaten alive. But make me eat you alive, right? Take your rook back. I probably wouldn't do that. I guess it's an option. Take your rook back, make me earn it, and honor your last name. Here. Yeah, those has some moves. It doesn't take a classical time control for me to start looking for those. But over the board, any time control, it's not blitz. I'm maybe not making that move, but I'm not so quick to look for piece moves. That seems to be the hardest thing for new players, and I think it will always be something I'm slower at, even if I do figure chess out and get pretty good. Pawn moves take more time, which makes sense because they're more committal. They're completely committal. But I can recover from what chess.com is calling these inaccuracies, and even moves such as it's calling it good. I don't have time to think much, but it's just good. And then it's inaccurate. And I think during the game I said, it looks good. Or I paused because I wasn't sure. But it's not worth the time at this level. You're not going to beat me. You're going to make your stupid ass mistakes, and I need time to exploit them. And online, when I'm at my best, you'll of course see what an over the board Class B player is, and I that's another example. Self, I don't destroy myself. I make inaccuracies sometimes. The faster the time control, the more likely. But ideas or moves like this, I get wrong 0% of the time. When I'm focused, when the game matters, I'm not just telling jokes on stream. I don't miss that. And I would see it in bullet. I wouldn't miss it in bullet. Because if you miss that move, D3, because I have it covered. Okay. But there are moves that are pretty clearly better. And I figured only pawn moves were options there. I guess it's just a different sequence, but similar ideas. But I'm not messing up when there's a chance to save myself, to win, unless it's extremely complicated. I don't beat myself anymore. I'm going to punish you when you're a dumbass pretty consistently. Like, let me get my pawns back together. Now, some that I've seen who learn chess after COVID and are adults, which a lot of people are trying. I have to assume chess.com, I don't know if there's any other online entities that have a lot of money to throw at it. They're investing in projects because no sane adult just shows up in a major city, moves his dog and soundproof phone booth into an apartment and tries to get good at chess. It's got to be some incentive initially. Now, on the flip side of that coin, the only people who will actually solve your problem, which is proving that adults can learn and bringing in the market that has money, probably young professionals, but not chess. And chess isn't going to be my hobby because I'm too old. I can't figure it out. Oh, he became a master is a long ways off. I respect masters a lot, but Dayton became an expert master in a few years. Okay, well maybe I can become average, good enough to play with my kids. And you don't scare people away. But I'm the type that would figure it out, not people that you're just bringing in because they're connected with a streamer or play when they were kids and you're going to pay them. Like Jules is going to figure it out. I think she's already pretty good, better than me. But she played as a kid. I think she kind of wanted to do it on her own. I don't think they enticed her as much as some others. Chess is too hard, you'll quit if it's not your thing, if you don't have a reason, which never sell chess as chess either. No one cares. Like my videos might seem overly enthusiastic or kissing chess.com's ass. Part of it was because if I went all in and I went hard for a few years and I didn't get an opportunity, I can quit and have peace of mind. So is that selfish? Kind of. I can move on with no regrets. I can be a normal person, start a family, go back to corporate tech. But if I half-ass it, or I'm kind of into this, or chess.com is an app and it was the only one, still is the only major player in chess business. And that's where all my games are logged. So me and my friends were talking about it. Most of my friends stopped playing. But if you look at my early games, I played with some of my friends who were in an accelerated program as kids, or they had some exposure to chess. That's all my games there. That'd be cool. I'll work for chess.com or partner with them in some way. So I overdid the enthusiasm. Think what you want of me, but whether I make this work or not, whether I become much stronger at chess or not, I will not have to sit there and go, I lacked enthusiasm in that video. I just showed up because I was checking a box to say that I tried. Nope. I'm either going to make it work, or I want every viewer to think I was on drugs, and then I'm out of my mind, and then I'm desperate, or whatever you need to think. So I think I'm fake, whatever, that I really tried, and I can move on to something else if it doesn't work. That's the type that's going to figure it out. I have a reason, which sometimes when you start something, I think your reasons become more clear, or you have experiences, such as the example, I never turned an Uber drive, but it just worked so I could attend chess tournaments on the weekends. My mom hated me Uber driving in St. Louis City, which there's a lot of violent crime in St. Louis, but they're great people. It's targeted, and it's not the majority. They're fabulous people. So I heard a lot of stories, realized I'm pretty fortunate. I shouldn't be a little bitch and complain. I get to play chess tomorrow. Cool. I'm Uber driving. At least I have a car. Parents that care if I die. Some don't. And corporate tech. I mean, I already believe adults can learn because software is pretty hard. And the H-1B visa is what kind of got me chased out the door. So I was convinced adults can learn, at least better than most would think an adult could. Like the limitations people place on adult brains, way too much. And chess would be the best way to prove that. You don't need to say that only certain people from certain countries who are exposed to something complicated at a certain age can learn or even master the skill. I can master chess as an adult who didn't know how the pieces move until almost 26 years old. And my first 2 years were online, which is not real chess. I didn't have real training. Okay, let's give a 20-year-old or 22-year-old with 4 years of formal training in tech a chance to try and master systems. Become not just a developer or not just a manager of people, technical expert if he or she wants to be. Because at 25 years old, I guarantee you that techie's grades were better than mine in college. At 25, I figured chess out. So it's a great tool. And that's some of the reasons I show up and get my ass kicked by children. But to just sell chess as chess, or look, what's the Chargers quarterback? Herbert, Justin Herbert. Well, Justin Herbert was playing chess with Anna Cramley. That's cool. And I like sports, not as much as I used to. Got burnt out. Wish I would have played chess. And the Rams broke my heart when they moved the football team away from St. Louis. But at the end of the day, Chargers fans and Justin Herbert fans know their guy plays chess. Cool. You didn't prove to them they could do it. That's an exceptional athlete. That's an elite athlete. Of course, there's more of a physical component to football. But in that example, okay, he's a superstar. He's a special person. That's why we look up to him. Yeah, okay, we watched him play chess once. You didn't convince anyone else they could. You didn't convince his fans, which, of course, is who you hope to see that video, they have any place in chess or are welcome at any chess club because you didn't show a chess club. You showed Anna Cramley throwing a football, which, even if you don't have an athletic bone in your body, I know she can throw better than that. It's really bad. I think she was just sandbagging to make him feel good. But they're not chess players. They're football players. You got to be in a chess video. I for the life of me, just like the N1 Street Ball Tour, you promoted people who are fans. You let people who are fans get the shit beat out of them by professionals. And sure enough, that got N1 relevant. I met people at the club who, no offense to professional streamers, such as Anna Cramley, Alexander Botez, they could be a lot stronger if they wanted to be, and if they gave up other parts of their lives. I don't know how strong. But some of my acquaintances at the chess club that I think are starting to be friendly towards me because they realize I'm not just showing up and I'm not just going to quit, they're quite a bit stronger than the Botez sisters, other professional streamers. And they're not making a dime. I'm sure they're losing money on travel and stuff. Excepting they're going to have to stop playing as much as they start families and become like real adults with responsibilities. But those are the people that you could help them make a little bit of money, show some of their games. I don't know how their personalities will be on camera. But that's who would actually grow chess. That's who might get someone on the fence like, I joke about my chess army. Jeremiah was going to come visit the club, my friend from my first casino, a craps dealer. That you show him those players who are really, really good, could probably become masters if they got a chance to do it full time. They're on that edge, but they're also far enough away from mastery where they're probably not going to pursue it seriously. They're interesting. They have interesting stories. I like to hear them. Sometimes they're motivational because it's much harder to quit when you have some money and you're making money as an influencer. You don't have to win. But these people just show up. And I'm not knocking professional streamers. You can promote both of them. But for the life of me, I don't see how you possibly think anyone's going to care about chess or helping chess grow just because you like chess. Like all the chess content I see is, I like chess. But you don't really get into why newcomers got into it. You get into their chess games. I guarantee you, if I were welcome, and I've said enough now online where all you'd have to do is watch a few of my videos and say I can't touch him, that's fine. The Hans Niemann thing did me in. I'm done. That's how I work. I'm all in. I'm all about it until I'm not. But to hear someone tell a different story than, well, when I was a kid, my mom played, and since she played, I played. I'm sold. Buy me a ticket to that show. And I like those people because I've watched enough of their content to appreciate them. And especially the women. They could have just been models, or they could have just been, acted like bimbos and been maybe even richer. But their content is actually very good. Now, I do think that they wouldn't have half the following if they weren't attractive women. But their content is good. They work hard on it. So why would the most influential people in chess business just help pretty women get more followers and focus so much on chess being cool versus trying to get beginners and newcomers interested through hearing adult stories? Why does it matter to you? It matters to me for those reasons, proving important points about the adult brain. And if you prove that the adult brain can learn, you can get into a lot of other discussions that start happening. Okay, he learned. So clearly his brain was flexible enough at age 30, 40, whatever the example is, to get this good at chess. Okay, is that level sufficient to prove an adult can learn? Or does it need to be higher? If an adult did reach that level, well, is it fair to just say, well, that person has anger issues, or that person has bipolar disorder? Or could we possibly make the argument we were wrong, and with the right type of training or in the right environment, the issues that we think bipolar disorder is bringing out can be subdued or even become an advantage? Because look, the brain was changing. You can put brains under a scan these days and see which parts have grown, shrank, where there's more activity. But if you prove that the brain is obviously changing and understanding a new skill that is this complicated in adulthood, you have to start being open-minded toward those other important conversations. But see, none of my answer involved I like chess, or that was a good chess video. Nobody cares. It's a platform. It's a vehicle for me to test things, and objective. And I found some of the athletes I've met interesting. Also, St. Louis happens to be near my hometown, so that kind of made my decision for me. When I'm thinking, do I want to do it? Well, the only world class. I don't mean that mean towards Charlotte or others, but that gets Magnus Carlsen and the likes of him to come annually is St. Louis. So I'm already there, basically. I'll just move. Then other people might start thinking of reasons they might want to play chess, but it's got nothing to do with putting pretty women in a hot tub. I promise you, viewers don't even know there's a chessboard there, or letting Tyler One call grandmasters mean names. Stop ranting. Reply to my challenges. So what'd you do, Elijah? What are you doing, man? What you're just going to give me? No, because the bishop protects. Okay. So if I check here, I just laid above your bishop, and I can't take anything because I'm covered. So I'd like to take that pawn, but my queen's in jeopardy. If I move my queen, you got to be careful. This is actually a pretty good player. If I go here, so either way, you want that check. I get it. And I guess I have to let you have it. And why was I so silly? Well, what am I doing here? God damn it. I'm already losing. You can't do that against good players. See, because I'm threatened, the queen supports. And this is what I was saying about pawns being so committal. You got to be careful. I've created a weakness. Pros and cons to almost every move. But now, regardless of what I do, I'm getting hit with that check. He's going to kill my castling rights. You might have ways to try to set up a fork. I don't think so, though. So no matter what, I'm pretty much getting hit with this. So I can go here. Well, no, that's not true. Because if I go here and you do choose to do the bishop bullshit, stop cussing, then I can hide. No, I can't. I still can't go this way. I'll be over here. So here. And your bishop comes. Yeah, sure. Now you don't have double on that square. But the downside is I can't touch that square when I move. So either way, I'm going to accept relinquishing my castling rights. And you got to move. Your bishop can't develop that way. All right. At the 2033, this should be the top 0.5 percentile. I still have my glasses on. Something feels weird because I don't wear glasses. Yeah. And might be back on later. Might not be.